Remember that you will be using these notes during class discussions and in writing an essay. It is important that you take systematic notes. Notice how I've set up my notes. This is the Cornell System for taking notes. You expand the left-hand margin to about 2 inches, and then create another section at the bottom, about 2 inches as well. The left-hand column can be used to help organize the notes, kind of like subheadings in a textbook, or to note what questions you need answered. Headings may help you when reviewing for an exam or when writing a paper. Here, I have written Pilgrims in Europe in the left to go along with the notes that provide the background of the Pilgrims before they arrived in America. In the bottom section, write a 1 to 2 sentence summary of the main idea that the notes on that page cover. I might write something like, before the Pilgrims came to America, they faced a difficult life because of their separatist ideas. Some were in exile in Holland because there they were free to practice their religion. Do I need to include that they took the Mayflower over? Probably not, because I already know that, and it doesn't really add to my understanding of the main idea of the section. That fact is in my notes above. When I review my notes, I can now identify these notes more quickly by reading the spaces to the left and the bottom rather than struggling through all the actual notes, which I may already be comfortable with, and if I don't need to study them, I can move on. In the main section, write your notes. Be sure to note which page number you are taking notes from. This will be critically important when writing an essay, when you need to do in-text citation. For example, I captured the unique nature of the Pilgrims mentioned on page 4 by writing, 4. Pilgrims were families, unlike craftsmen and noblemen of Jamestown. When taking notes, create a shorthand that will make it easier to take notes. For example, I always use W/0 instead of writing without, and I use the plus sign instead of writing and. Be consistent, but develop something that works for you. These are your notes and do not need to be understood by someone else, though you will need to explain them to me if I cannot make sense of your symbology. Remember that you are going to be turning in notes to me at the beginning of the school year. So if you do make notes and highlight or annotate in the book as you read, which is perfectly fine, you will need to transfer this to loose leaf paper in order to turn them in. When you reach the end of a chapter, write a longer summary of the entire chapter to test how well you synthesize the information. Do this in your notes or on a separate sheet of paper. It is important that you understand and can put into your own words the main ideas presented in the chapter. Remember that the author told you at the beginning, through the title of the chapter, what this chapter was about. Can you clearly explain the author's main ideas and who the key people were and what events they were involved in? When you look back through the notes you took on this chapter, are they clear?